Hello everyone and welcome to my brand new Rome 2 Emperor Edition Let's Play. This is my very first video, so there's bound to be problems. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to improve things going forward. So, without any further ado, let's begin. I guess first we'll have a quick look at the graphical settings I'm using. If you were curious, there they are. Mostly everything is set up to high. I mean, my computer's reasonably powerful, so we should have a pretty nice looking game. And I guess on to the show. We're going to be doing a grand campaign. I'm going to play as the Romans and the House of Julia. That's kind of bog standard. I know it's not terribly interesting maybe, but it's what I like. I mean, I like the Romans a lot, and I like the House of Julia. So that is what we were going to be starting with. I'm going to leave it on hard, which is, I guess, technically normal, but I find it's a good balance between difficulty and just fun. So we're going to leave it there. Campaign settings, I usually leave the advisor help to high. You never know, they might surprise you with something new. AI moves to limited, that's fine. Nightmare mode, I'm not sure what this is. They added it, I guess, as a Halloween thing, maybe, I don't know. But we'll be leaving that off. Battle realism, this is a cool feature. It can make the battles slightly more challenging, slightly more realistic, but I usually leave them off just for fun. And battle time limits, I usually set it to 60. This, well, A, allows me to complete any battle that I get into. No battle should take longer than 60 minutes. But B, it guarantees that if the AI starts to behave strangely, that a battle will end eventually. And if I'm on the defensive, you know, I don't want to be forced to attack just to end it. So 60 minutes guarantees that the battle will end eventually, one way or another. Victory conditions. Well, there are three, kind of like almost like Civilization's victory conditions. But I'm going to leave it on military. It's a war game. It's a total war game. So, you know, we're going to aim to conquer things. Alright. That said, let's go forward. Now, a quick word about loading times. They have improved considerably. The whole game has improved considerably since its original release about 2 years ago. But if these become overly long, I'll try to cut them out. And I guess one more note before we begin. I'm not an expert at this game. I have been playing Total War games for a long time. I started back with the original medieval Total War. But I don't have a ton of experience with this game. I've played it on and off since its release. But, you know, I'm not an expert. So we're gonna have fun. We're gonna do our best. If you have any suggestions, if I'm making obvious mistakes, please, by all means, let me know in the comment section. But yeah, we're gonna do our absolute best to have some fun here and see this through to the end.
You are at war with the Etruscan League. March north and capture their territories. This will allow you to consolidate Italia and ensure the safety of Rome. You must wage war if you hope to extend your dominion. Syracuse and Carthage own territory in Magna Graecia, so conflict with them is inevitable if you wish to expand across the Mediterranean. Otherwise, they may prove useful allies against Etruria or the Gaulish tribes to the north. Come what may, Rome will triumph.
Alright. Well, to begin, I guess I'll lay out my basic strategy. We are going to head north into the Gallic territories. I consider them to be the greatest threat and the easiest place to expand into. Obviously, the very first thing we have to do is take on the Etruscan League, but that's pretty straightforward. We take out these two cities, and then swing across here to, I believe this is Corsica, and this is Sardinia, but I often get those mixed up, so yeah, one or the other. But anyways, we're coming over here. As for my overall strategy, I usually, at least in the beginning, plan to leave the south alone. Carthage is obviously sort of a natural enemy of Rome, but they are usually embroiled in a conflict with the Syracusans for a while. In fact, Syracuse will often take Sicily and hold it, in my experience. And as long as Syracuse is keeping Carthage busy, you don't have to worry about them as much. So that can effectively secure your southern region. As for the east, well, you've got the Greeks over here. Again, they're not outright hostile towards you. They're not terribly friendly either. You can sometimes trade with them, but in my experience, again, as long as you don't pick a fight with them, they'll leave you alone. They're usually too busy fighting each other, fighting the sort of the Thracians over here, and the barbarians up in here in the Balkans. So that's your east secure, and of course your west. Well, you don't have to worry about Spain too much. The people over here in Spain, they almost certainly won't cross the Mediterranean to come get you. So really all that leaves is the north. Now the barbarians in the north, well, they're not your friends either. They're much more inclined to be friendly with each other than with you. So they do, in my opinion, represent your greatest threat and your greatest opportunity for expansion. So that's my objective then, is once the Etruscans are dealt with, we're heading to the Alps. That's not to say we won't head south or east eventually, but at least in the beginning, our destination is the Alps. So, without any further ado, let's begin. Usually send my scout up here, and there's always a guy in these woods right here that the scout will detect. I don't think he's hiding there, but anyways, it's not a bad idea to send your scout first anyway. We'll get the fleets, do some raiding, maybe bring in some extra coin. This guy, I usually march north. I usually use him as a means to block the entrances into southern Italy in case the Etruscans decide to send someone south. Because if this army will be marching north and hooking around here, if they send someone south, these guys won't get back in time. So it's a good idea to have this guy in position ready to go in the event that happens. So, technology. I usually start with supply reforms. I'm not sure if there's a better one to begin with. You really only have two choices, so I usually go supply reforms. And buildings. Well, again, I'm not an expert on this. I guess if we start down here in Consentia, well, they have some issues with culture. Right now the culture is being divided between my two Latin provinces, or Latin cities, and these two over here, Punic and Hellenic, which is Greek and Carthaginian. So it's not a bad idea to begin working on that cultural problem. So to that end, I'll probably get myself some consecrated ground going. Over here, probably expand Roma. Consecrated ground, this is a problem. Probably don't need Field of Mars. Roma's going to be sort of my legionary output probably throughout the game. So that's fine there. So it really comes down to public forum, consecrated ground, or suburbia. It's not a bad idea to get consecrated ground because you can get some temples that improve the units that are produced. I believe it's province-wide, but just in case it's not, in Roma. And then we have Neapolis. This is an interesting decision. It's sort of an economic hub. So what do you do with the port? Well, you have Brunsitium down here, and they produce artillery ships, which is great. The problem is, in order to produce the artillery ship, you need your fleet to be in the sea province, or perhaps dock with Brunsitium itself. That's inconvenient. It's not a bad idea to have the ability to produce high-quality naval warships, over here on this, the western coast of Italy. To that end, you could build yourself a shipwright. But Neapolis is an economic center, so it may be smarter to build a harbor. So that's hard to say. I think I'm going to go with the shipwright. I think I can find money elsewhere, and I would like the ability to be able to build ships on this side of the Italian peninsula, I guess. So that's what we're going to do... maybe not right now. Ships aren't that important right now. So maybe instead we'll go with the money and upgrade the settlement to the olive press. And I think that's it. Yeah, could get the Shrine of Mars going. Actually, I'm probably gonna do Neptune here. Maybe. Yeah. That might be the better play.
Ready for battle.
This guy could begin recruiting. A couple of Estada units up there. Yeah. Alright, I think we'll leave it at that. And to end this first episode, we will attack this army. Now they'll run away. We outnumber them considerably. So, get in there. Now this is a battle I could easily auto-resolve. But for the sake of having a little bit of fun before we exit, let's go in there and stomp all over them. This will also help clear the rust out. Because I haven't really played this game all that much lately. But, I mean, I guess the Total War games are of, at least at their cores have been very similar over the years, so this shouldn't be any problem. But it's also nice to take your army into battles like this, particularly in the early stages of the game, because you don't want the AI to make a mess of your army, take unnecessary losses, let them retreat, that sort of thing. I mean, it's almost best if you take direct control. I mean, later on, when you've got massive armies and you're crushing tiny little, specks in your way, then sure, auto-resolve. But, yeah. Alright. Rain it is. Didn't want the fog. I didn't want to have any problems finding these guys. Army set up. I think it looks good, but I would prefer to have the Velites on the wings. Two reasons. First of all, the levies are more expendable, so I want them in the middle. They're more likely to be attacked that way. And secondly, the Velites are, they could be used on the flank to attack in a pinch. So it's good to have them there. Alright, let's go. Let's begin marching.
Riders, forward!
And away we go. Looks like they might be coming to me. Sometimes they do on the defensive. Sometimes they don't. No, it looks like they're just repositioning. Alright, fair enough. So, away we go. And to speed this up a little bit, yeah. Looks good. You got the shiny ground. I'm not sure. The overly shiny ground. I mean, it's a wet ground, I suppose that's the effect, but kind of shiny. But anyways, yeah, this is why I leave the battle realism camera turned off. Because I kind of like to spy on them. I mean, it's kind of fun to, because in most Total War games, you're gonna have this. You march to them or they march to you. So it's kind of nice just to be able to cruise around and watch things. It's a quality of life thing. I do admit with the realism mode, like, you can't see as far, your camera's locked. I mean, there's more tension. Like, oh, I don't know where they are. I mean, you have to look around. Maybe it encourages more scouting with light cavalry and that sort of thing. But for the sake of this playthrough, at least, we're going to keep that off. Now, I guess the other bugbear before we begin is pausing. I'm not sure what people's stance is on pausing. I mean, it's a single player game, what does it matter? But I'm gonna try not to. For this battle, I don't think I'll need to, but for bigger ones I might. I mean, it's kind of like, okay, is your RTS more, you can't pause during an RTS and issue orders, but in this game you can, so. But anyways, away we go. We'll start with our javelins to try to see if we can't pick off their skirmishers and drive them off the field. Again, see, they're attacking my levies. That's perfect. I'd rather lose levies than Velites.
Our hidden units have been discovered.
But it looks like they're going to charge us, which is, I guess, to be expected.
Melee troops awaiting orders. Levies, move out!
Ready and waiting.
Romans ready for duty.
Get these guys to stop firing at will. What you're doing.
Missiles ready and waiting.
Sons of Mars.
Romans ready for duty.
Melee infantry.
Missile infantry at your command. Quick march!
Around. Okay, there we go there. Skirmishers.
General, tribune us.
Just trying to get them out of the way. I'm not a huge fan of javelin men. Really not. I've never been a big fan of them. I prefer archers, but I know Rome doesn't really ever get archers until perhaps you can find some auxiliaries. But we'll make the best of what we got here. There they go.
Mars. Astarte.
Orders!
Melee troops awaiting orders.
Okay, there's gonna be all kinds of friendly fire if you don't stop.
Proud Romans. General.
Swing this guy around. They're chasing them down. I should have sent my general after them. I don't think there's enough that they'll come back, so that's fine. Probably should have played this a bit smarter and shut the door on them, but too late now.
General.
Do I send my general in or do I wait? Their general can be stubbornly resistant, which is really annoying. Now look at this. Oh, get in there.
Engage!
But this is one of the classic problems with Rome 2, and they've never really fixed it. Look at this mosh pit.
Our general is under attack.
He sure is.
You have orders, sir. Forward!
God, this is ridiculous. This is another thing I hate. This general unit, completely surrounded by forces, and he's just, you know, completely immune to dying. You know, he's not even wavering. This is a little silly.
Commander.
This is ridiculous. Anyways, we are probably taking considerable losses when this should have been over 5 minutes ago. It was my fault, though. I shouldn't have just thrown in my melee. Alright, there we go. Now I'm going to make sure I kill each and every one of these people. Now there's a couple of reasons. First of all,
is dead.
that's one reason. The other reason is your guys get experience for every kill they get. Doesn't matter if you kill a guy who's fighting you or you kill a guy who's running away. You get experience all the same. So it's definitely worthwhile to stomp every single last enemy you can on the battlefield.
Our hidden units have been discovered.
So this should be done in just a minute. Clean this up. And any day now. Any day now.
General.
Can sort of see them. There's like one dude left. There he goes. There he goes. And that's that, I think. Well, did these guys never retreat? There must be someone left. Anyways, that's good. $66 losses for 322 killed. That's, again, that's a bit more. Like, look at this guy, 38, completely surrounded. He still managed to kill 38 guys. But still, though, like at 5 friendly fire casualties. That's disappointing. Probably Velites hitting friendly targets. Nothing to be done about it now. So, as you can see, the game still has some problems. It's still not, and never will be, as good as we hoped. But, you know, it's better. And I think we can have some fun with it. So, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching my very first YouTube video and the first episode of this Rome 2 Let's Play. We'll be continuing again tomorrow, wherein we will try to push forward and try to take these first 2 Etruscan towns. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Further orders?